Hi everyone, it's Roland Kym here from Move to Vancouver, Canada, your Vancouver realtor. And today I'm going to talk to you about 5 factors that are affecting the Vancouver real estate market right now. One is my own term, it's called employment comfort. We're going to talk about interest rates, prices, inventory, and pre-sales. Employment comfort, what that refers to, it kind of encompasses a whole bunch of factors. It encompasses the employment situation, tariffs right now, and what I'm noticing in Vancouver is that the comfort of people's employment is lower than it typically is. There's a lot of issues going on with certain companies shutting down or laying off some of the workforce. Things like the racetrack in Vancouver, closing, and there's sawmills that have closed in the province. And so overall, there's a little bit of discomfort with regards to employment in the Vancouver ecosystem that I'm really noticing is causing some buyers that have a need. They probably should be looking in a down market because they're not in their forever home. And so there's a real opportunity for them to find a great property at a great price. But they have a little bit of trepidation and concern about their employment and about what's happening in the economy. Combine that with the tariffs that are ongoing. Further conversation will happen in 2026 where the government will need to renegotiate the CUSMA agreement with the US and Mexico, and tariffs are certainly going to be a part of that. And so what I'm finding is there's an overarching hesitation in the marketplace right now. Even with people being well employed, most people, they have concerns about their employment, and they have concerns about the years ahead being not as positive as the years behind us. And so that is having an impact in the Vancouver real estate market. Interest rates, we had an interest rate reduction last month. More and more, we're learning that probably there will be no further interest rate reductions in 2026. No one knows for sure, but the bond market and a lot of factors at play right now are indicating to us we're probably at the low of the cycle regarding interest rates in Canada, and there probably could be a flat market in 2026 where interest rates don't change, and we're positive or lightly projecting that there'll probably be an interest rate increase by 2027 versus any further reductions. Still too early to tell, but what it means to the marketplace is if we are currently at an interest rate low, I believe that will bring new buyers in 2026 into the marketplace once they believe, and if they choose to believe and understand that interest rates are not going any lower. We will have to make things work in this ecosystem. And so that's something that I'm expecting to really show itself in 2026. And that is the conversations that are impacting a lot of buyers right now in the marketplace. Regarding prices, year over year, most price categories in Vancouver have inched lower. We're still up substantially over a 10-year trend. However, we are also expecting that prices are going to continue to trend a little bit lower in 2026. And so that is impacting the market right now because buyers are not urgently looking to buy with the fear that prices are going to bounce upwards in 2026, and rather, many people believe we are trending sideways. Certain categories will maintain themselves, and this is the price low. Other categories will continue to go lower as there's more inventory available than buyers. And so right now that is, adding some coolness to the final few weeks of the Vancouver marketplace. And with regards to inventory, we're at all-time highs in inventory load, 30% higher than 10-year average. And so right now there's a lot of inventory in the market. We have a couple more weeks before the end of the year. It tends to get a little bit busier for people who are on a timeline and need to complete on a transaction to make their move work. But inventory is up, and so buyers have a lot to choose from, and sellers certainly need to be aware of how they're priced and how their property is positioned in the marketplace. And the final factor that is definitely impacting the marketplace is our pre-sale situation. And what that situation in a nutshell looks like is prices are not low enough that buyers are jumping into the market, and the prices are not high enough that developers are going to lower them. What I mean by that is right now a lot of developers are sitting on finished product because if they can't sell at these prices currently, they can't continue building new properties. And so they figure the market will eventually need to turn around. And so it's a little bit of a standoff right now in the pre-sale market where A lot of new builds that were planned to launch this year, or at least go to the sales stage of the process, have been canceled. We've seen quite a few projects that were further into the process that have been canceled, where buyers from a year ago or longer might have had their contract canceled and a refund issued. And so the pre-sale market is at a very tumultuous time in the marketplace. In my 2-decade career, I've never seen it such as it is today. I think it's undergoing seismic changes. I think the whole overarching way that pre-sales will be sold in the future is going to change. I think developers will need to complete units somehow more than they're doing them now, where they're pre-selling them and then getting the funding from the bank. So all in all, for pre-sales, it is a tumultuous market, and there's going to be, I think, a lot more pain coming up in 2026 with pre-sales, and it will eventually bounce back, because that's where the pressure builds up. Right now, new properties aren't being launched, new properties aren't being designed, other than some that are in the pipeline. And although it might feel like the pre-sale market's going to be stale for a long time, it never stays that way. We need new inventory to go into the marketplace, and that will eventually, in a couple of years, drive the prices back up. But for right now, if you're considering the Metro Vancouver market and you're thinking of a pre-sale, if you're a buyer, there's a lot of great opportunities out there. So all in all, what are we in? We're in a buyer's balanced market. It's on average 20% less sales than 10-year average, and a lot more listings, and the market is not looking like it's going to rebound, rather go sideways in the near term through 2026. And so it's kind of sluggish, and a little bit of standoffish situation between buyers and sellers. But deals continue to happen, and everyone's situation is different. I would love to sit down with you or answer any questions that you have that I might be able to assist with. Again, I'm Roland Kym with Move to Vancouver, Canada. If you like this, please subscribe to my channel and smash the like button. Look forward to connecting.